Hi everyone, Kim here with Sunshine Creations and Crafts, and this is part 2 of the altered box tutorial that I'm doing. Now I went ahead and cut everything ahead of time so it won't take so much time, but I did want to say something that I forgot to mention on the first video. I did use this primer. When it's all done drying, you need to sand it, and I had the Tim Holtz sanding block that I used. I couldn't find any other sanding paper in my garage, so I went ahead and used that. One thing I did try on this one, because I really wanted it to have more of a shiny effect, was I tried the Mod Podge gloss and it didn't really do anything. And then I also tried the Plastercraft acrylic matte spray finish, and I didn't really see there to be that glossy finish that I was looking for. So we'll just go with what we have. And if you have any advice on how to make acrylic paint more of a shine or a finish, just leave me a comment. So I'd appreciate that. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to put on our paper. Now this is the top side, and it's a 5.5 by 3.5. And I started inking it, but I thought, oh, I could do this on camera. So I'm just inking the edges, and this is with the Spice Marmalade. And I actually found that the Tombow worked really well with this. If you have Mod Podge, or even probably this would work good, but this is real stringy, and I find that works better on material, or you know, like the paper flowers and stuff. So we will put that on top first. And I think I mentioned in my first video that it's okay for the white, or actually I used like an antique white color to the paint to show. See how it's not all the way to the edge, but you do want to give it a good rub down, and you can also use your bone folder to do that. Okay, so let's do the side. And the side panel is cut at 7 by 3.25. Now, if you have a paper that you like the back of, you can obviously, you know, put that there, but that wasn't not that appealing to me. So, I mean, I like the paper, but not for this particular project. It's like a little tape measure thing almost. And I'll put this down here. Now, I have my camera at a different angle, and I usually have it sort of right in front of me so that I can, you know, check here and there to make sure that I have everything, you know, in the camera view. So, oh, I forgot to ink it. Let's do that real quick. I have to be tricky about this, huh? So we don't get it on the actual wood. But as I was mentioning, this is a different angle for me, but I've got so much stuff here on my table, I'm not going to be able to ink that there. But I'm going to have to just take it as it is. Alright, and then that's the back. We want to do the other side. So let's ink that up. I just love inking. I think it just really makes the project so cute on cards and layouts and everything. I guess we should say thank you to the creators out there of this dress inking, huh? Tim Holtz and whoever else. Oh, my finger dauber just fell on the floor. That's no good. Okay, so let's do this side. And we'll put that on. Pushing that down as best we can. Okay, so we have the top, we have the sides, and now we're going to do the back. And the back is cut at 6.5 by 4 3/4. Like I said, I dropped my orange finger dauber, but I want to go ahead and ink this, so if you'll pardon me, I will grab one from my handy dandy box here before I put it on. For some reason I'm having a mental block here. forget to ink, huh? And I have a limited amount of time to do the video, so we'll do what we can do. I could have inked it ahead of time, I guess, huh? Because this is not a technique that you guys have probably seen for the first time, right? Okay, that's good. All right, so we're going to put that in here. Now all the boxes are cut differently, I've discovered. So even though the last altered box I did was 7 by 3 1/4, I'm sorry, the back is 6 1/2 by 4 3/4. It's looking like it's a little bit big that way. So I'm just going to do real quick, just shave it off a little bit. And the ink part is already on, so we don't have to worry about that. Oh, look at that, fits right in there. I'm going to press down. Still popping up a little bit, so let's go ahead and lift this up and shave it off one more time, and then we're going to put a little bit more glue on it because what we put on it has started to dry. And I'm also going to put some in the middle of the paper. So a little bit more glue on the edge as best that we can. And here, let's make a smiley face. It's late, what the heck. Ah, see, perfect. All right, so now we're going to do our drawers. Set that aside to dry. All right, so the inside of the drawers, I cut at 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. Now, with these drawers, I actually put the paper in and it was too big. So I shaved it down just a tiny, tiny bit to fit. So I'm not sure, I guess this box is just slightly different than the other one. Which makes sense because, you know, it can't be the same exact one every single time. I'm going to put that in there. Now I'm going to try to, I'm going to grab my tweezers here. I work best with those. I'm going to try to put that in as even as I can. Whether it's all the way flush against the back here or, you know, a little bit at the top and a little at the bottom. It's up to you, whatever appeals to you. Just as long as it's even. And again, see, that's kind of popping up, so we're going to have to take that out and do a little bit of a shave again. And you can ink this as well, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm going to re-glue this, and I'm definitely going to put some down the middle. Okay, that's much better. And, you know, either using your bone folder or like I'm doing with the tweezer, you want to give it a little push. Okay, now before I put this glue on or do anything, I want to make sure, yep, that one fits. So let's ink it up. Okay, and put our glue on. And drop it in. Push that down. And last one. Thank you for being so patient. All right, and then this one, let's drop it in. See if I need to alter it. Nope. And glue it up. that one's down. Now, here comes the tricky part. This is how I measured it, but you may come up with a better way. You can take a ruler and measure in the inches through here and then the inches down here. But I kind of did it a funny way. I cut the, let's see, this is the inside drawer, front of the door. That's a 4 3/4 by 2 inches, and then I cut it down just a little bit than the 2 inches. So I lined it up with this side and making sure that this was lined up as well, and I put a little circle right there. Can you see that? And just marked it like that. And then I went over to my Big Shot and I just laid my die on top of it. Now the other one that I did, the altered box, I used the scallop die. For this one I'm just going to use the round die. So let's go over here to my Big Shot, and I'm off camera for just a second, and I'm going to run this through. And of course I'm always crossing my fingers that I'm actually getting it in the right spot, right? Alright, let's see how that... Well, it made the hole. I guess that's a good thing. And then look at that. Ta-da! One thing that I do want to do is I want to paint this like an orange color. And I do not have my paints out. So I'm going to have to go in and hand paint it very carefully, which I can do. I have confidence in myself. But I did pick out a really cute color that is matches up with that paper. So let's put that down. Like I said, I tried to a couple of different ways to make this shiny, but I just don't have the right stuff, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to push that down, and you can go ahead and move it over and make sure it's even on both sides. That drawer's done. Alright, so I'm going to go over to my Big Shot real quick, and I'm going to, there's going to be something I'm going to do a little different here. So here's that guy, and try to get that as even as I can. And I'm over here by my Big Shot, which if I try to move my camera, I will probably not do it correctly, so hang in there. Okay, I'm lining it up to make sure that it's going to cut in the right spot. Sorry about that, I'm off camera. I'm here, hello, 1 second. And I made the mistake of not putting my new magnetized board in. I'm going to reach across here and get it. This is what I'm talking about, because then my die will stick to it and I won't be struggling with it. So brilliant idea this was, by the way. How many times have I, or how much washi tape I've used trying to get my dies to stay in one place. If you don't have one of these, you must get one. I got mine from Janice Lewis. She's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and a sweetheart, by the way. Long story short, found out that she lives in the same town as my aunt and uncle, which is in South Carolina, of all things, and I'm in California, so I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so we got that. And I'm actually going to use the dotted this time. Put that right there instead of the flowered. So I'm going to have 2 dotted drawers and 1 with the flowers. Now, if for some reason you don't cut your paper, you know, exactly the way you want it, you can use a emery board or a file, a fingernail file, and just come along the edges. I'm not going to do it with this one because I don't want to ruin the edges, but you can come along the edges and just sand it down, and it kind of peels right off. So, okay, so that's that drawer. And one more die cut. We'll be done with the drawers. And then just going to put on our flowers. Now, my idea that I wanted to do, and this is where I could use all of your advice if you have any, is if you see in the paper, it has sort of a viney look to it. And I'll bring it up to the camera here. See how it has like these little vines? I looked through my ribbon thinking that I had some that had like vines on it, and I even thought, my dog is itching back there, I even thought about hand painting it, which I don't have a problem with that, but I was kind of looking more for some ideas. So if you guys have any ideas on how to do that, that would be great. Now that's a little bit off because I'm yapping. So we're going to put it on and paint it, and I think it'll be okay. Now I did not ink these edges, which I could probably do, which will help in the mismeasurement, if that's such a word. Actually, I did forget to ink all of this, so I'm not sure why I'm having a little forgetfulness here. I have another word for that, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate. When you forget something. Alright, so let's bring this in. I'm probably running out of time at this point. Okay, and the only thing we need to do, here, let's put our drawers in so you can start getting an idea of how this is going to look. See, that one's going to be in the middle. My goodness, Shotzi, you're just itching like crazy. That's going to be down there. Oops, wrong way. And then this is going to be the bottom drawer. How cute is that? I can't stand it. So I got the back, the sides. Now I need to put those on. Oh, look at that. I remembered to ink and I bumped the camera. I'm like the queen of bumping the camera. Just get myself all flailing around and okay, this is going to be a good example of how to use the emery board, because I can already see for some reason when I put it through my cutter the paper moved and it's crooked. So I'm going to line this up edge to edge, but see how that little part right there is not lined up. So I usually wait till it's fully dry, but I'm just going to show you the technique where I can come in and sand it down and then it'll peel off, but I'm going to wait for it to dry a little bit, and then I can peel it off and then it'll all be even. So I guess my advice is to wait till it dries off, huh? And I cut all these the same length, but the bottom length should be, oh goodness, this is 5 3/4 by 1 1/4. And you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put this on my blog, and then it'll have all the measurements for you. But if you end up getting one of these, you'll want to measure it yourself, just because, like I said, as I mentioned, it not really, each one is different. And just a heads up that it's really late right now, so I won't have this on my blog tonight. I'm about ready to curl up in bed. I just wanted to get this done. This is so exciting. Just love these little altered boxes. Alright. And the back. So you see a little bit of a shimmer here. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but I tried. I don't know what else to use. I'm, you know, not savvy in wood painting per se. I can decorate it, but for what I want to do and making it shiny, I just couldn't get it done. All right, let's do a quick measurement. We're going to cut it off about right there. I just realized I forgot to ink that one. That's funny, actually, that I keep forgetting that. Okay, so let's put this on. Fantastic. All right, let's do some final touches here. that away. All right, let's do our flowers. Now for the flowers, I'm going to go ahead and use my 450. And this flower here is from Petaloo. And I thought it had some really nice matching colors. And even though this is kind of stringy, I really do find it is the best glue for putting on flowers. And you know what? That might not be too much. So we're going to put that in the corner. And then I have some Recollection flowers from Michael's that I'm going to put on. And because this is a real thin paper, I don't want to go too crazy with the glue. And this is like a golden yellow. It's got a little pearl on it. I thought that was pretty. Bring that in there. And you know what? Here's a white one with a little gold, with a little pearl. Kind of move them around a little bit while they're still wet. Another gold one. Put that down in the corner there. Alrighty, so I have, I have butterflies, and I have another really cute flower here. So let's put one more flower on. Get it all flowered up. All right, so I like the butterflies. I'm going to put this, I hope I'm on camera here, one down here. And I think I'll match it about right there so the drawer can open and close. And then I'll put this, I'm going to call this teal. And these are Recollection butterflies as well. Oh wait, not Recollection, I'm sorry. I got them at Michael's, but they're not Recollection. Just says Michael Paper Embellishments. And I put this one right here. Alright, so here's my idea. I wanted to somehow bring a vine down over this. I didn't think to look at my Cricut cartridges, so I can do that. I have some leaves cut here that I want to go ahead. The leaves I cut from a Spellbinders die, and it's this one here, and I'm going to go ahead and give it some dimension, pop it up a little bit. Oops, kind of off a little bit there. Oh, that's too much glue. And it's okay that, to me it's okay. I'm putting it so that it's kind of sticking off the edge a little bit. Goodness. And then this one is, it's like a two-sided, and I kind of like this, so I'm going to go ahead and integrate that in there as well. That's way too much glue. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put this one right here. Sneak it in there with those flowers. And then I guess I could try to put